So a few things, it has a forestay. You need to remember to put the jib up before you take the forestay off, or vice versa. Make sure you've always got one on, because otherwise the mast will come crashing down. But do remember to take this off before you go onto the water, otherwise it gets a bit exciting when you try and hoist the spinnaker.
It's twisted, is it supposed to be?
They should
Just untwist.
Okay, and then they feed through this little cleat here.
This cleat here.
It's worth getting some tension in here if you actually want to be able to point. So what we've tended to do is, you can see the marks on the rope here where we've already started to fray it a bit. So if I pull on the forestay, you should be able to then get a good tension in the...
Feeling that twist at the top of
because they're on a swivel up there. So now you can then take the forestay off. And then tend to tie them, seems to be the best places down here. Go in the same place and try not. We can put up the mainsail. So there's a few little tricky bits here. So we've tended to leave the mast up, but you'll see on the mainsail it's got a number of these plastic protectors for the batten pockets, and they snag pretty much everywhere as you go up. So you need to be a little bit careful as you hoist it that you don't catch particularly on here and on the top where the kicker is. So for those of you who probably noticed, it's got an upside down kicker. So you haven't actually got anything down here, you've got this which gives you control. And at the moment we have left this. We've just lit this here is the outhaul, and we've then left it tied onto the main halyard just to hold up the boom. So if someone could just release the main halyard, which is the red one. Which one here? Yeah. Top of the sail and just usual way pokes through. Be careful which side you start feeding it in. You want to feed it in on the left hand side so it runs up the side here. So for someone,
why is that so we remember?
yeah, if you come around the back here, it's probably clearer to see. And this is why we tended not to connect them to the boom until the sail's all the way up. It just makes everything easier. Okay, so just been asked about the mast float up here. This should hopefully stop you turtling if you capsize it. It will, but it'll go in at the bottom down here when we put on the downhaul. So the sails at the moment, I think because they're nice and new, almost look too small for the setup. But we've been tending to put them at the top of the mast and then stretch them as you need. Just this lug here which slides in at this point on the back. And hopefully
Can you just see down a minute so we can see where you're putting it?
yeah, let me just
Put it in that hole.
okay, so there's a lug in the middle there, the hole, and this lug there slides in. And then simply enough you can just put the outhaul through.
I find that really bizarre.
Come around and there's a little couple of little teeth at the bottom here. Just fits in. But there's a D-hook up here and you can just put this loop on and then hopefully pull that down. Slide this lug in here and then you can get down. And what is reasonably nice is that you don't actually have to do anything with the kicker, it's just this blue line and you can put it on and put it off as you, so you don't actually ever have to rig that, it can just stay there. Right, so the other bits to possibly be aware of is this other little thin blue line that runs under this cross beam here is the furling line, and there's a cleat underneath. So when you want to pull it out, you can just pull this down and it will come off. And if you pull it down and put it to one side, you should be able to just zoom the jib out. Put it back in again, nice and easy. Because we're tending to leave them in the cleat, and then you don't need to worry about that. So you can then go through this one, back down into the middle, and put in a stopper knot here.
I'll do it this way.
Start in the cleat.
The knot's left in there.
Okay, so keep them back in different ways. So start at the back, down, up, down.
If I do it, if you do it,
Yeah, they always match them outside in.
I think the main thing to make sure is you don't get these crossed here.
Yeah.
Right? In a sense, where you start and finish doesn't really matter. Slide in the normal way. And there's a catch at the back here. But they will just about stand up until you try and wheel the trolley, and then they'll come crashing down and hit the ground. So we have tended now, after a few disasters, to actually just put them on once we're out in the water. So in a sense, the spinnaker is fairly straightforward. When you want to hoist, you're just going to pull on this line and it will start to come out of the chute at the front. A few things to be wary of with these spinny locks is you have them up and then you pull down to lock. But don't do what the mistake I've made a few times is that when you pull, you want to be pulling up and then snap it down to lock it. Don't snap it down to lock it and then continue pulling, because it tends not to, it can often not jam very well. So do this and then do that. Don't keep on doing that. When you're going to hoist the spinnaker, you'll also see the pole will come out. It will all come out as a big sock. Try and start on a run and then harden up until it fills. Don't do it on a beam reach or something like that, because you will have all sorts of excitement and probably go swimming. Yeah, you'll be testing the mast flow. So you should have something like that locked off. A bit of a tug. And what you notice is that the halyard is connected through these 2 points into the middle of the sail. So as you drop it, that will all bunch up and hopefully pull it into the chute. But often it will just sort of become a big football here, and you need to give it quite a bit of power. Or if you're actually on a run, when you pull, if you pull this in tight, it should get tied in behind the mainsail and lose all its power. It's like the opposite of what you think. Keep it tight, so we can just hold that, and then hopefully when you drop this, you can it also means that it doesn't hopefully go quite so far. Now you can let it on into the water. It
Hello?